7 years old when my dad paid $1 to get this for me, and then I opened it up, and then I opened it up again, and then here's the money shot, folks. The Enterprise. Look at that. All right, I have this on my wall in my bedroom and my college dorm room. And all my friends, they had that famous picture, that poster of Farrah Fawcett. I had the Enterprise. I had my priorities straight here, and I'm so excited. We're gonna have two presentations for you today. First is going to be a 60-year presentation celebration with actors across 60 years of Star Trek, and then our preview of season 4 of Strange New Worlds, which just dropped its first episode on Paramount Plus. Now, before we get started, I have a very, very special guest I would like to introduce. He is a very good friend of mine. He is also the CEO of Roddenberry Entertainment. Please give it up for Eugene Roddenberry.
Thank you very much, Scott. And thank you to everyone here. This is quite spectacular. They did ask me to come out here and obviously give a few remarks on what the 60th anniversary means to me and maybe even posthumously my father. They also told me to keep it short. This is short enough. So let's go back to September 8, 1966. A science fiction TV show, unlike any other before it, was broadcast for the first time on television. It had spaceships, it had laser guns, had strange planets, even had weird-looking aliens. But that was never really the point, was it? This show wasn't about science fiction. This show was about us. It showed us a future where humanity had come together. It no longer feared the difference between themselves. We finally learned that it's our uniqueness and individuality that was the most important thing about life. Once humankind understood that, they built starships and the technology to reach across the galaxy. But here's the thing, the crew of the Enterprise, currently docked at Paramount Lodge, check it out, wasn't out there because they wanted to see something different. They went out there hoping to find someone who thought differently. Someone who looked at the universe in a way different than humanity had ever thought of. So Star Trek actually gave that an idea that gave it a name. You guys know it. It's called I.D.I.C, infinite diversity from infinite combinations. And to be 100% clear about this, I.D.I.C never meant you had to drop your own views and blindly embrace someone else's. It just meant keeping an open mind to new ideas and new points of view. Because that is how we grow as a species, from new shared experiences. I.D.I.C is the foundation of Star Trek, and I take it very seriously. Now, over the decades, I've spent a lot of time at conventions talking to fans, often hearing of stories of how this show really, it meant a lot to people. It comforted them, it inspired them, and in some cases, it genuinely changed their way of life. Now it's clear, Star Trek is not just science fiction entertainment. It's a show that makes people believe in a better future. It makes them believe in themselves. And more importantly, it makes them believe in each other. Star Trek is at its finest when stories make you think, even if they challenge you just a little and without shouting at you. Star Trek has always worked best when the messages are subtle, just enough to make you reconsider something you thought you already understood. To hand you a new perspective and let you guys decide what to do with it. That way of thinking didn't come out of nowhere. Gene Roddenberry, my father, and the creator of Star Trek, born August 19th, 1921. At a young age, he took to devouring books at the local library. He loved stories that would take you on a journey of exploration and discovery. As he grew, his love of adventure and storytelling grew with him. A lot of you don't know he lived many lives before Star Trek. He flew over 80 combat missions in World War II. He saw death up close, and on some of those missions, He was the one who had to deliver it. Afterwards, he became a commercial airline pilot, flying one of the longest international routes of the day. On one such flight in 1947, while deadheading, the plane lost 3 of its 4 engines and went down in the Syrian desert. He was the only surviving officer and helped rescue a number of people from the burning wreckage. After that, he hung up his wings, joined the LAPD, and that was right at the beginning of the civil rights era, when everyone was arguing about equality and ethics and governance. So through his many lived experiences, he really saw some of the worst of humanity, but he also saw some of the best. He saw our curiosity, he saw our courage, and he saw our compassion for each other. During his life, he'd been doing what all storytellers do: watching, listening, and most certainly questioning. He was trying to understand people, not just who we are, but who we might become. And this is the heart of Star Trek. He knew we were flawed, but he also knew we were capable of learning, capable of changing, and capable of rising above the fear and division that keeps trying to hold us back. That's the job Star Trek has, then and now. Not to save the future by itself, but to keep pushing us towards optimism and altruism. I have no doubt this is what my father would have thought of the 6th-year anniversary. And it's something that I've taken to heart, and that's what it means to me. Now, the last 60 years of Star Trek could not have happened without an enormous group of people. So to every actor, writer, crew member, executive, studio, and distributor who has kept Star Trek on the air, and to every showrunner, producer, and creator who took a risk with it and tried something new. Thank you for keeping my father's dream alive. Thank you for painting a picture of a better tomorrow. And thank you for showing us ourselves and who we can become. And to you, the fans, you guys are the lifeblood of Star Trek. You guys have kept it on the air. You deserve the credit. Your love, your passion, and especially your voices. You've been Star Trek's compass. You've kept it true. And please don't ever stop reminding all of us why Star Trek's important. Bijo! And while this might sound a little corny, and I mean this with all my heart, you know, the final frontier was never about being out there. It was always about being here. And so I want to say here's to another 60 years. May you all love long and prosper.
Big hand for Roddenberry. And while we're at it, folks, big hand for Gene Roddenberry and Major Barrett Roddenberry. And if you really want to see something special, they have the original 33-inch model of the Enterprise that was used for the filming of The Cage in November of 1964 on display at the Paramount Lodge. So the Paramount Plus Lodge, so check that out. All right, we're gonna get into it right now with our 60th anniversary celebration. Please welcome to the stage. Let's give it up for, from Deep Space Nine and Next Generation, Michael Dorn. Please give it up, Voyager, Prodigy, Starfleet Academy, Robert Picardo. From Deep Space Nine and Starfleet Academy, Sarat Lofton. Replacing Connor Trenier, who couldn't be here, we have from Star Trek Enterprise, Dominic Keating. This guy is a legend. Very busy here at Comic-Con this weekend. Lovely and talented, really a beautiful human being, Doug Jones from Star Trek Discovery. Passion is everything. No one is more passionate. From Star Trek Picard, Michelle Hurd. I grew up with this guy from 1986 with Stand By Me, Scream 2, Jerry Maguire, and Lower Decks, Jerry O'Connell! Doing amazing work on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Please welcome Christina Chang! The newest member of the Star Trek family from Starfleet Academy, Karim Diané! And ladies and gentlemen, I mean it, you got it. All rise Give it up for an absolute legend. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, George Takei. All right, let's get this conversation going here. And George Takei, I do want to start with you on this here. This is not for everyone in this room, for everyone on this panel. It is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. But George, for you, it is the 61st anniversary of Star Trek because 61 years ago this week, filming started in Culver City on the Desilu Studios lot on the second pilot, where no man has gone before, which sold Star Trek as a series. So we are all grateful to you for being here. Big congrats. So George, the question is this. What does it mean for you, not just to be part of Star Trek from the very beginning, but to see Star Trek evolve over these years with show after show after show?
Well, it's always wonderful to have people come up to you and say, congratulations, or happy 60th. It makes me feel so young. Yeah. I'm way older than 60. But that isn't the only wonderful thing about this. It's an extraordinary phenomenon. Extraordinary phenomenon are the right words. What television series that was low rated when we first started, not only lasted 3 seasons and were canceled, but because of all of people like you and your parents and your grandparents, because of their intelligence and their sensitivity and their vision, supported Star Trek to the extent that we have lived long and endured for 60 years and going. That is an extraordinary television phenomenon.
And that is all because of you, the fans. So give yourselves a round of applause, folks. Yeah, the way that Star Trek has continued to resonate and become relevant and stay relevant, just decade after decade. Christina, I would love to hear, because you're with us here for 2 panels, this and for Strange New Worlds. Like, what is your take on how Star Trek really does continue to resonate and stay relevant?
I mean, it's at the forefront of diversity and optimism, hope. It's everything, exactly what Rod was saying, everything that we can hope humanity to be. And there's no better way than watching Star Trek to make you feel better, pick you up, bring people together, bring families together, chosen families. You guys, I'm sure, see each other at conventions just as we do, sat here. And it's just an incredible feeling to know that there is this optimistic family there for you.
You know what, Ethan, I got to ask, just of how, you're doing this show, that's leading into the original series. It really is coming full circle. How proud are you to be doing Strange New Worlds at a time when we're leading into now with the 60th anniversary?
Oh, I can't believe I'm at this table with all you guys. I mean, to hear George Takei, for me to be on a panel with you is, amazing. I'm blown away. I feel so lucky.
Well, I feel the same way about you guys.
Aww,
because you're our children and grandchildren and giving us this longevity. So thank you all very much.
Well, I'm actually a little bummed because I actually paid money at a con to get George's autograph. And
So did I.
saved myself quite a bit of money. You're charging a lot, Mr. T. It's right here. Yeah.
Karim, I want to ask, you're the latest addition to the Star Trek family. On behalf of 6,500 fans, welcome to the Star Trek family. My question for you, Karim, is what is it like to become to join this legacy, to become part of a series that has been around for 60 years?
It's iconic. I feel like I snuck my way onto this stage. It's really cool. I think at first I didn't know what to expect, and then, okay, you know when it hit me? I got a DM from a guy who got Jaden tattooed on his thigh. But like not in his uniform, like in like a Speedo. And the moment I saw my face on a grown man's thigh, I was like, this is permanent. Like, this is an incredible, like, this is the coolest, like, family to be a part of. I'm just so lucky to be here. Yeah.
Well, okay, so ladies, I'm standing right next to the one and only Michael Dorn, who has appeared in more Star Trek than anybody in this universe. Let's hear for Michael Dorn, ladies and gentlemen. Michael, my question for you is, you know, Next Generation was such a big swing because it was the first show to step out of the shadow of the original series, but the way you have continued on with Worf throughout the Next Gen movies and then with Deep Space Nine, what has it been like for you to keep evolving a character over different shows and movies over these years?
It was fairly easy because all the fans know that it's easy for me to be grumpy. And that is the main thing you got to do with Worf, is you just got to be grumpy and surly, and so it was kind of easy. But I got to say that I was a huge fan of the original, and when we got the Next Generation, I just was like tickled pink that that was part of it. But nobody told us it was going to last this long. I mean, it was a shock to all of us that we still are, you know, viable and still are, you know, they're making other shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's one thing. The one thing that I did feel that I was honored was our show was the last one that Gene Roddenberry
Correct.
Created, and to be with him in those last 2 or 3 years was just an amazing thing to watch a guy that created all this stuff.
Do you have a moment with Gene Roddenberry that you had that you cherish?
Yeah. The first year of Star Trek, if you remember, Worf was getting the shit kicked out of him quite a lot. Aliens would come on the ship and they'd find him, and it was really terrible. And I went to Gene and I said, you know, I don't understand, you know, why Worf gets beat up so much. And he goes, well, Michael, you know, Worf is a powerful person, and he's a powerful soldier, and if they beat him up, then the aliens are powerful, and it just works for the story. And I go, well, Data is
Eminently kickable.
eminently more powerful. And he goes, get out of my office.
That's a good moment.
That's a good one, yeah.
Robert Picardo, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. You know, Robert, the same question goes for you. I mean, you know, between Voyager and Prodigy, let's hear it for Star Trek Prodigy, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. And now at Starfleet Academy, like how rewarding has it been for you to see the Doctor grow and evolve? And what does it mean to you that you're able to keep going with him?
Well, first of all, I thought I looked much better in animated form than I do. It's wonderful to play a character that has bridged generations of Star Trek fans. Having played the Doctor on Voyager and then to reprise the role both on Prodigy, which was designed to bring in a younger audience, but amazingly, not only did parents sit down and watch it with their kids, I know many adult fans who loved Prodigy and didn't see it at all as a kid's show. Saw it as one of the warmest and most optimistic of all of the Star Trek shows. And then to come back on Academy with an incredible cast of young actors, with the great Holly Hunter playing our captain, the wonderful Paul Giamatti playing our first season villain, was so gratifying, and to come back and only be an 800-year-old hologram, or what I refer to as the Yoda of the Star Trek franchise. It was a great circle of life experience for me personally, and reminded me that as Star Trek actors, we're in the optimism business, right? We're in the inspiration business, and I'm gratified to be part of a franchise that has touched so many people, like all of you, but around the world as well. And I can't tell you how happy I am to be part of this family that you see on stage today.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Sirach Lofton, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. So, Sirach, I love the Seventh Rule, your podcast. If you're not listening to the Seventh Rule, you're missing out. But, you know, throughout the 90s with Deep Space Nine, starting in 1993, we have literally seen Jake Sisko grow up on TV and make television history with you and with Avery Brooks as a family in space, but a family that everyone can relate to. And Avery Brooks, one of the finest actors to ever grace a Star Trek soundstage or any soundstage. I'm wondering, you know, because you had such a special bond and great chemistry, is there a moment with Avery Brooks, working with him, that has stayed with you, that you cherish the most?
Well, thank you for that, Scott. I can't single it down to one moment. It's the moment started in the beginning when we first met, and he gave me a big hug. That was the beginning of our relationship, and he's been an inspiration to me. He was a protector for me growing up on that set, and somebody I could look to as an example of professionalism, work ethic, integrity, and just absolute talent and knowledge. And so, I have dedicated pretty much ever since then to singing his praises and calling him the best captain of Star Trek. That's my opinion. But I truly love being a part of this family, and having grown up on this show, it's really all the family I know. And all of you people out there who have supported this show throughout the years are part of my extended family. And what is beautiful about Star Trek is that we have an optimistic future to look forward to, where we work together for the greater good of humankind, and we try to explore and spread peace. And I think that's one of the things that relates to all of us in this room. We have that same vision for a collaborative future that involves that kind of care, humanity, and compassion for each other.
Thank you, Sirach. Thank you so much. So in addition to being the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, it is the 25th anniversary of Star Trek Enterprise. Hello, Dominic Keating.
The little show that could.
So every Star Trek show is different. Every Star Trek show, especially as years pass, people can look back on it, wrap their heads around it, and be like, oh, that's what made this show great. What is it about Enterprise that you feel like made it unique, and is why it holds up, and more people discover it and love it over these years?
Good-looking cast. What was special about our show Enterprise was that we were the first in the canon of Star Trek. And I think that was a real privilege to play, the first pioneers into space. And we didn't get it right all the time. We made mistakes. We pissed off a lot of aliens. But we had spirit, and we had gusto, and we had a belief that our first faltering steps into space were going to be aspirational and full of optimism, and I think that carried that message forward. And I'm really honoured to have been a part of that legacy. It was the time of my life, without a doubt. And we were at a studio that was still a studio back then, and working at Paramount at that time was fantastic. Scott Bakula, I could never say enough about. He just was phenomenal as the leader of our show, and it's too bad he couldn't be here today, so you got me. Discount Scott Bakula. I'm very, 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 very proud to be a part of this legacy and this show, and I think, you know, as the years go by, my gratitude deepens yearly. And I mean, I was 5 years old when I was growing up watching this man here. I nagged my dad rotten to get one of the first color TVs in our street to see this show, and was blown away that Spock's shirt was blue. And, but yeah, it's an absolute honor to be here, and thank you, Scott.
Well, we are all grateful to you and the cast of Star Trek Enterprise, everybody. All right, so Michelle Hurd.
Yes,
I got to tell you, watching Star Trek Picard was such an emotional experience for a longtime Trekker, and especially for you who discovered Star Trek, watching Nichelle Nichols on that bridge. What did it mean for you to see Nichelle on a show that was shot in the 60s, very different time, and then for you to be on another bridge of the Enterprise in Picard?
Yeah, I have to say, you guys, I'm just having a real life moment right now, because first of all, I have two sisters. There's three of us, and my father knew it was really important for the three brown girls to see themselves represented, and so it was really important, right? Important for all of us to see ourselves represented, and art is the way that we get to do that. And so we watched those reruns. To see Uhura on the bridge, to see this strong, beautiful, beautiful chocolate brown woman with urgency, with purpose, with intelligence, with grace, leading the way. And, sorry, just almost got a little emotional here. To be sitting here next to this man.
It was such a great day. And the year before, we did a musical that was a big hit in Los Angeles called Fly Blackbird.
Yes.
Civil rights musical.
Yes.
Lone Asian amongst black and white cast, which went to New York off Broadway too.
My father is a civil rights activist. My father
Yes.
is all about this.
Yeah.
So for me to be sitting here with you, sir,
Well,
is an honor, and I feel like it's one extension closer to Nichelle, and I'm so humbled. And this is what Star Trek has done, you know? It touches us, it brings us together. It's literally the lifeline that will heal us all. And what Chirac was saying, what Christina was saying, it's what we want to do, what we want this world to be. It's the hope for tomorrow. It's talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those beautiful three words. I am so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for being part of this family. I'm so grateful that Star Trek let Rafi be part of this perfectly imperfect character, that we all are perfectly imperfect. Let's lean into love, you guys. Let's say fuck you to fear and hatred. Let's lean into love.
All right. I'm not crying. You're crying.
I'm a New Yorker, I curse.
Doug Jones. Doug Jones.
All right.
All right. Legend. So, I remember when I was at work, and I used to work for Access Hollywood, and I get this report on Variety. It says Star Trek is coming back to TV, and I posted on social media, OMFG, yes. How special and also how daunting was it for you to sneak with the rest of your amazing cast of Star Trek Discovery to bring Trek back to TV and to boldly go forward?
No, daunting and special, all those words. First of all, everyone looks so good on a Jumbotron except... Thank you, baby. Now I know why I've been covered in rubber bits for 40 years. Thank you. But honestly, I love you right back. But you know, I was 6 years old when this man first came on the first Star Trek show, and I've grown up with it. I'm 66 now, and it's been 60 years of my life has been Star Trek laden. And having been an actor under lots of rubber bits over so many years, I kept getting asked, "Have you ever been in a Star Trek show?" I'm like, "Well, no, they haven't called." So once Enterprise was done, and then there's this long, 15-year gap, I guess, I thought, well, that starship has sailed. And then I get this call for a new Star Trek series on a new platform, the streaming world, right? So it was a new era for Star Trek, and I got to be in it as an alien. Finally got rubber bits back on my face for a Star Trek series. I was so tickled pink to be part of that. And I'll tell you what, hearing from all of you, doing the fan appearance conventions around the world, hearing feedback from you guys is what really keeps all of us going, I think. What this franchise has meant to you, what our individual shows and characters have meant to you, how it's fed you, helped you get over your own issues in your life by watching someone that you recognize on film. It's all been really, really gorgeous. So thank you so much for all of your support over all these years.
All right, so this next actor I'm going to ask my question to can only mean one thing. Lower debts, lower debts, lower debts. Jerry O'Connell, everybody. Jerry, so Lower Decks is such a love letter to the Star Trek that aired throughout the 90s, early 80s into 2025, really. What did it mean for you to be a part of a show that is a love letter to Star Trek while still being a great Star Trek show in its own right?
Thank you so much. Yeah. I got it on eBay. It was way more expensive than I wanted, but once you start bidding, you can't stop. Everybody knows how that goes. But I want it. Being a part of Lower Decks, it really, because our boss, Mike McMahon, really he's just the biggest TNG fan in the world. It was just, I remember when we were doing the episode where the Cerritos, that's my ship.
Cerritos.
Just to let all these Enterprise people know, the Cerritos is a second-class ship. When we went to Deep Space Nine, Mike McMahon said, "Hey Jerry, add a line where you say, 'Man, that is one ugly space station.'" And then he said, "All right, add another line where you go, there's no parking, just keep circling, just keep circling." And I just knew we were a part of like something new in Starfleet. That said, the thing that amazes me about Starfleet is how these people up here make you. I'm only in this game for 5 years, and everyone here has made me feel so welcome. And it started with my Stand By Me co-star, Will Wheaton.
Yeah, all right.
All right, everybody.
Nice.
When it was announced that I got Lower Decks, my wife was already on Discovery. You would have thought, my wife would have said, like, "Hey, congrats on that. Like, welcome to the family." The first text I got was from Wesley Crusher, and I'm gonna get a little emotional. It said, "Welcome to Starfleet, Commander," and it really, I knew I was a part of something bigger than myself, and I'm very appreciative for all of this. I don't take any of it for granted. Thank you.
So we just recently saw first season of Starfleet Academy. Karim, I understand you have something you'd like to share with us about season 2.
Ooh, I got a little something for y'all. Okay, so we all know that one of the most exciting things about being in school is that every single new year brings new students. And so I'm very, very excited to announce, as a part of Starfleet Academy's Alien Exchange program, we have a new cadet joining us for sophomore year. You guys, I am so excited to introduce you to Rory. I think his face should pop up above me. There he is! Rory Arlington. Are you past? Okay, so the T is, he plays this alien called Keats, And Keats is really hot. I mean, look at that handsome face. But he's also very mysterious. He's kind of like the hot new bombshell that enters a villa to start drama. Yeah, I can't wait for y'all to meet him in season 2 soon.
All right, so my last question for this part 1 here. So while I was getting ready this morning, as I do every morning, I watched Star Trek. Seriously, my girlfriend thinks I'm crazy. But I was watching Balance of Terror, and you all know Balance of Terror. There's that moment on the bridge when Kirk turns his chair around and gets in his face. Says, leave any bigotry in your quarters. There's no room for it here on the bridge. This was 1966, folks. George, my question for you, all right, take us out. You know, you got to work directly with Gene Roddenberry. Which part of his vision for Star Trek, the message that he wanted to kind of put in there subtly, that you feel like is the most important to today?
Well, there are many acronyms on Star Trek, but I think what you're driving at is that one acronym that encompasses the values and the ideals of Star Trek, and that's I.D.I.C, I-D-I-C, infinite diversity in infinite combinations. And that's not just in the visual part. I look different from her and she looks different from him. But not just that. It's the background, it's the history, it's what differences we bring other than the visual. We have a whole history that's shaped our vantage point on life, how we see life, and it's recognizing that amongst all of us, coming together and realizing that our strength is in our working together. We have various thoughts that were exchanged. We have maybe different reactions to what was said, but it's our recognition that that difference and the courage, the boldness to think about that difference and learn from it. I think that's what the strength of Star Trek is. Infinite diversity in infinite combinations. And then you'll live long and prosper.
No better way to bring this first part of our conversation out to a close. Thank you all celebrating the 60th anniversary of Star Trek with us for your profound emotional responses. Let's hear it for this amazing panel, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. All right, this is your cue, yes.
Okay. Love you. Thank you.
All right, they're gonna...
Hold on a second. You know,
Yeah, thank you, Pete. Thank you, Pete.
All
right, so ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I meant what I said. I really do watch Star Trek every single day. All right, so we're gonna continue on. I mean, I really do watch Star Trek every morning. I mean, there's almost 1,000 episodes of Star Trek now since 1966. Almost 1,000 episodes. So, thank you. Eat your heart out, Star Wars. All right, let's move forward. So, Star Trek continues to build new shows for a next generation and a next generation. So, I think we have a message from Star Trek Scouts. Let's take a look. Exact 60th anniversary. I love Strange New Worlds. How about you? When I saw this cast introduced in season 2 of Discovery, I'm like, I want the show, I want the show. I know you all said the same exact thing, and now here we are, 4 seasons in with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which just dropped its first episode of season 4 this past Thursday. New episodes dropping every Thursday. Let's bring to the stage right now for our Strange New Worlds Season 4 celebration, executive producer, showrunner Alex Kurtzman. Executive producer, showrunner, and Academy Award winner, Akiva Goldsman. Executive producer and showrunner, Henry Alonso Myers. And you wanted more of Erica Ortega, so you got her. Give it up for Melissa Navia. He is boldly going closer and closer to the Star Trek we first fell in love with. Please welcome Paul Wesley. Big fan of Vampire Diaries. Please welcome back to the stage, Christina Chang and Runa. We were talking about Uhura on the last panel, and now we have Uhura with us, Celia Rose Gooding. This actor is doing a spectacular job as Spock. Please give it up for Ethan Peck. This actor has been doing outstanding work for a long time and is crushing it in season 4 of Strange New Worlds, and you're probably going to see her later this year, Rebecca Romijn. Finally, I get to have a moderated conversation with this actor, our Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount. All right, first question. Alex Kurtzman, for the last 10 years, you have been steering these Star Trek shows, making every show completely different, working with these showrunners that we have with us today. What was the biggest rewarding feeling? The fact that Strange New Worlds is connecting so strongly with fans, old and new.
It's such a big bite to say we're going to take these iconic characters, we're going to recast them, and we're going to attempt to tell stories that have been told before in a new way, right? That is sort of the biggest high wire act you could possibly try and pull off in the world of Star Trek. And the fact that you guys embraced it the way that you have, I would say that for me, the two great joys have been watching this incredible cast and the chemistry that they have, and watching them evolve over the course of all these seasons, and just sink deeper and deeper into the shoes of these iconic characters so that you, as a fan, can love the originals and then love the new version. And also, I think that the writing is phenomenal. You know, I think it really captures the essence and the heart of what everybody loved about the original series, but it brings it into a very new place. And so for me, working with these two geniuses and the entire writing staff throughout the run has been just a real joy.
So we watched the first episode of season 4 the other day, Thursday, and I got to see the first 6 episodes of season 4, and it's awesome. Wait, no spoilers here. Akiva, what can you tell us about what is coming in season 4 of Strange New Worlds?
So we're going to do this sort of like a cash basis thing. I'm going to be over there at the end, and I will take $5 from each person, and I will tell them one episode story.
He's not lying. He can be bought.
Budgets are tight, you know, by the end of a run, and anything helps. Henry needs some, yeah. Thanks for coming, guys. I was sitting backstage watching the extraordinary panel, and it occurred to me how odd everybody was. And I remembered how odd I felt when I found Star Trek, and that it seemed like home. For us, the show has been a carton of odd people lumped together, and we really appreciate that you've seen our oddness and odded us one back. So thanks for being with us this year. I would like to make the money from you to tell you, but instead, I'll just show you.
Strange New World has had its challenges, What were the unique challenges to bring season 4 to light?
Well, we tend to look at every season like this could be the last season. And we don't look at it like in a pessimistic way. We look at it like, what is the thing that we didn't get to do that we should really take a swing for? And, you know, having done that for 4 seasons, we really just didn't want to leave anything on the table. So, I mean, I could point to 1,000 things from...
He wants to say puppets.
I was going to mention dragons, but the puppets were huge. The puppets took a ton of work.
All right, that's coming up. 5th episode in. Can't wait to hear what you all think of that. No spoilers here. So, Anson Mount, ladies and gentlemen. I finally get to talk with Anson Mount about Star Trek. So, as we all know, every starship captain has brought their own unique take to Star Trek. Every Star Trek captain stands apart. Now, it's been a while since you wrapped, filming Strange New Worlds. So since maybe you've had a little bit of time, Anson, I'm wondering, looking back on your performance as Pike, what do you think the legacy of Pike is? What makes him stand special as a starship captain?
I knew very few things about Pike when this started. But when I had my conversation with Henry and Academy Award winner Akiva Goldsman, we're going to keep doing that.
$10.
I said that I know that if, and now we're being upstaged by Cavapoo, and just wait till you see season 4, because it happens there too. I said, look, if Kirk represented the machismo and Picard represented the intellect, then I want Pike to represent the heart.
Yes.
I've tried to infuse that throughout the 4 seasons, and I'm very proud of this show, primarily because it's an ensemble show. I feel that I am not the lead of this show. I feel like the lead of our show is the Enterprise, and we have strove to make that the case. I mean, from the opening credits, you see we're not in the opening credits. The ship is the opening credits.
Oh, good point. Good point. So I gotta say, season 1 of Strange New Worlds, we're all watching the show, we're looking at this Tums person going like, man, it's a great character. Erica Ortega's, man, I wish we could see more of her. But you know what? Everybody said the same thing. Everybody wanted more of Erica Ortega's, and we got it!
Ortega's!
What, Melissa, what an actor's dream to make such an impression that the fans wanted more of you, and they got it, and you crushed it. How special does that make you feel? How proud are you of Erica Ortega's?
Yes.
I find this shit!
I'm incredibly proud of her. She is, kind of going off what Leonard Nimoy once said about Spock, Erica Ortega's is my best friend. I know her so well inside and out, and it is the highest compliment as an actor to receive and hear from fans and the audience that they want to see more of that character and not less. And so, going off of what Anson was saying, our show is truly an ensemble show. I don't know of another show on television that has an ensemble like ours. And yes, I am biased, but that is okay because it's true. And Henry and Akiva throw everything at us. And every single person up here on this stage and those who are not here, I mean, they busted their butts every single week to do everything, of every single genre, every single skill that we had and that we had to learn. So to be a part of a show like that, and to know how difficult it is to get so many stories, to get that crew camaraderie in 10 episodes every season, I know what the writers were tasked with. And so coming on season 2 and then Erica's standalone episode in a way in season 3 was just
awesome.
a dream come true. Thank you, sir. He's a big fan. He's a big fan.
Big fan.
I appreciate it. But to be able to do that alongside legacy characters, alongside incredible new characters, has just been a joy, a blast, every actor's dream, and I cannot wait for everyone to see season 4. And we also have season 5 coming up, so lots of great Trek to come.
Oh, that's a tease, folks. So, I mean, you're talking about the chemistry, Anson, you're talking about how this is an ensemble. You're right, the opening credits, the ship, because you're all on it. So, I gotta say though, watching Una Chin Riley just grow and grow and grow with each passing season, played by the incredible Rebecca Romijn. You are awesome. You are truly number one. I would love to hear how excited you were to see Una Chin Riley continue to grow and evolve and even sing.
Yes, I had to become very familiar with Klingon. Just to be able to flesh out this character who was originated for the original pilot 60 years ago that was scrapped, played by the great Major Barrett Roddenberry. There was very little to go on. She only had 13 minutes of screen time. And to get to flesh out this character, these fabulous minds just kept helping me find these layers, and here we are, where Una is finally living her authentic life, season 4, and we get to see just a freer Una who's taking leadership roles and leading missions on planet, requests more planet time from
That was awesome.
Captain Pike. Yeah, so really great, really wonderful.
So the last panel, Celia, Michelle Hurd spoke very, very passionately about what Uhura meant to her growing up. And here you are, not only carrying on the show because legacy, but building on it. And here we are in season 4. We see Uhura get to keep growing and evolving. As an actor, how great is that? But also because of what this character means to so many people. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it has been the honor of my career thus far to be able to reprise such a beloved character. I mean, Uhura is just as much mine as it is the Trekkie community's, and so to be able to share my understanding of her with people who have loved her before I even got to put my little zhuzh on it it's been incredible. I think in season 4 we see her get just another step closer to the Lieutenant Nyota Uhura that we all know and love. And we got to see pieces in this teaser that I did not think they were going to show. But we get there very visually, very aesthetically. We're getting a little bit closer. And personality-wise, I think in her beginning, she was very insecure, very unsure of herself. And now we see her literally letting her hair down. She's coming into her own. She is standing in her confidence and her brilliance. And yeah, it's just, it has been a pleasure to play her growing, and I can't wait for y'all to see exactly where she's headed, because I am really, really impressed with her, me, us together, all 3 of us, because there was 2 of us over there.
That was awesome.
So yeah, I'm just honored, humbled, and excited for y'all to see what's coming.
Awesome. Let's hear it for Celia Rose Gooding, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so twice during this conversation, you've all talked about chemistry. Anson, you mentioned it. Alex, at the top of the conversation, you mentioned chemistry. So my question now, Paul, Ethan, is this. When I was a little kid, 6 years old, Philadelphia, 1974, the reason I fell in love with Star Trek was because of the chemistry between the actors, especially William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley. That chemistry is the reason that show endures. So, I'm watching Strange New Worlds, okay? I'm watching, actually, this is last season, the scavenger ship, Selleck's Tale. And Paul and Ethan, I was sitting there watching the episode for the first time, and I'm watching you guys as Kirk and Spock, and I leaned forward on my couch and I went, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. My girlfriend's like, what's your problem? I'm like, that's it, that's the chemistry. And I just want to know, Ethan, you first here, just like, how did you and Paul sort of develop that relationship that we're seeing evolve with Kirk and Spock? I mean, did you try different things, or was it easy for you guys?
Yeah, I don't know that there was much trial and error per se. We just kind of got along. We hit it off the bat. We had a really wonderful discussion when he arrived to Toronto, where we filmed the show, and talked a little bit about our ambitions and our fears for these characters. And I think we were just very aligned in our truth and dedication to it. And you know, we've gotten a lot of amazing situations to get along in, or not. I think Spock's quite skeptical of your brash Kirk, for the decision making you make, but that makes for some fun and some conflict, and that's a part of good chemistry too. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, didn't we go on a coffee date to talk about Spurk?
That's right.
When I first got to Toronto.
In Toronto.
I was like, do you want to go on a
Yeah.
coffee date and talk about our characters?
Yeah.
Sat outside and chatted a bit. No.
You got recognized a bunch.
What's that?
You got recognized a bunch. A lot of photos.
Yeah, man. Yeah, look, you know, Ethan and I were in similar situations, although Ethan had been playing the character for much longer. When I first got here, I was like, geez, like, how do I like, take on this iconic character? What do I do here? And so I turned to Ethan very much for some support, and he did support me. But I also think, like, to answer your question, Ethan and I, and tell me if you disagree, I think you and I have that sensibility and that kind of camaraderie in real life, you know, and sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, and I do think Ethan and I, we're friends off screen, we hang out, we text, you know, we talk on the phone sometimes because we're not just, you know, just Gen Z.
Hey.
We do that still, but, you know, we have that camaraderie, you know, and I think that's why it shows on screen, hopefully. So,
It definitely,
yeah.
it
I gotta tell
definitely
you,
does.
when Paul first joined the cast, you know, PR was, the network was very clear with us, like, Paul Wesley is going to pick her.
True, I remember that.
Tell them it's top secret, no pictures, don't post, like really super top secret. And then they shoot an episode with him in downtown Toronto in a Star Trek uniform. And every woman in their 20s is there.
Yeah,
Paul's very famous.
That was probably not the smartest thing to do.
But you know, the thing about playing James Kirk is that when we first see Kirk, when he's first introduced on Strange New Worlds, he is not the Kirk that we are familiar with. But Paul, your performance has gradually gotten closer and closer, and we're all watching the show going, oh, there he is, there he is. So I'm wondering, like, what was that like for you to not lay it on too thick, but to gradually get there where people are seeing it?
I mean, similar to Rebecca, the character only had 13 minutes of screen time in the original. No. The character is so obviously ubiquitous, so well known. You know, it's for me, it's like I thought about it and I said, well, what can I do that's different? What can I do? How can I bring a different perspective to Kirk that then leads to the Kirk that we know?
Yeah.
We have 5 years of runway, you know, and it's like, he needs to grow into that man. We want to understand why he became the Kirk that we all know and love from TOS. And so we want to see that growth and that, you know, metamorphosis, you know, for lack of a better word. And I think we achieved that, and I'm excited for people to see the culmination of all that, the season 5, you know, series finale, which is, you know, hopefully the Kirk that we all sort of recognize and grew up with.
All right, the reason my mind is blown right now is because, Paul, you said the word metamorphosis. That is my favorite Star Trek episode of all time. From season 2.
That was unintentional.
Second episode, written by Gene Kuhn. Anyway, all right. So here is how dedicated Christina Chong is to Star Trek.
I don't know what you're going to say.
She brought her dog on stage because...
Look, it's Tribbles.
Because, hang on, the reason she brought her dog on stage is because she wanted to bring it back to the enemy within. Remember the alien dog from planet Alpha 177. So thank you for that, Christina.
You're welcome.
Yes. But same thing, you know, like in terms of the chemistry, you know, you all go in, you read the script, you memorize your lines. How, with this intricate dialogue, do you memorize your lines?
Well,
my
but
God.
do they?
It's called editing? No.
No, for me, I kind of really personalize the situation that La'an's in. I really go in and I, you know, whatever it is that she's talking about, I'll think about something similar in my own life. And so by doing that, the words seem to kind of stick, you know? So it's like I've got subtext going on that's meaningful to me. Not that it's not your words aren't meaningful to me. I mean, of course they are. But, you know, to my personal life. And yeah, sometimes they stick. Sometimes I have been known to rip my sides into small little squares and put them on my desk, on the bridge, just in case I forget. I can just glance down and pick up my lines.
You know, the other thing about each season of Stranger Worlds is that, you know, new characters are being introduced as we get to, you know what. And, you know, all I'm going to say about season 4, Eric Ortegas and Montgomery Scott, there's just, talk to me.
Engineers and pilots, man. They don't get along. Martin, I think Martin Quinn has just done a fantastic job with Scotty, and getting to see Ortegas and Scotty go head to head, which we've gotten glimpses of that, right, in our season premiere 2 nights ago. So I'm very excited for fans to see that. Anytime Erica gets to interact with anybody that she's not usually with on the bridge, right? Because her home is the bridge. She flies the Enterprise. I would be happy if every scene was on the bridge, legitimately. Like, bridge days are very long. I don't know if you all know as much as I do, but they're very long. But I feel that's where Erica gets to shine. But anytime she's off the bridge, you get to see her interplay with other characters. And the writers told me that they heard about, you know, this kind of long-standing beef that engineers and pilots have, and they were like, this is perfect. So getting to play throughout the season, I won't give anything away, but alongside and with Martin as Scotty was an absolute joy, and he is a blast in every way. And I look forward to fans seeing that, and to seeing another side of Ortegas as well.
It's awesome. I'm just saying. Okay, so, you know, also as you're reading your scripts and, you know, getting the feel of like where that particular episode is going to go, but then, you know, you get to the set, and Anson, you know, you're talking about an ensemble. So if you have an idea of like how you're going to approach Pike that day, but then you get to the set and you're working with your fellow cast members, how did they bring out something in your performance that surprised even you?
You know, the bridge days, I would say, they're my favorites because most of us get to be together, and we all happen to have largely the same sense of humor. So that really gets you through the day. And I have to say, like, of everyone, I would say the MVP in that regard is Rebecca Romijn. When she walks onto the set, the mood lifts for everyone. And it's just been a really a joy to work with her in that way. I don't know. I just try. I try to keep my ears open to what everybody's doing. And look, we've all had those days where, you know, you shoot it and you're moving on, and 20 minutes later you go, oh. Now I understand this.
How about for you, Rebecca? Like, how did your cast members bring out something in your performance that even you weren't expecting?
In any performance, it's important to, you know, when you're working with really talented people, typically everyone brings something to the table. And you can work on it all you want the night before or the week prior or the 2 weeks prior, however long you have the script. But when you get to set, you've got to be able to pivot. And when you're working with really fun, talented people, that can be scary or it can be really fun, like a really fun opportunity. So I would say that we've become so cohesive at this point, at this stage in the game, that we're really open to other people's ideas and pivoting and playing. We get to play. But the most important thing is getting that dialogue down pat and learning Star Trek dialogue, which starts off as gibberish, and as Chrissy said, you've got to give it meaning in order for it to become meaningful. And then once you've got that dialogue down, then you can really play.
How do you get it down, though? Do you have a trick?
Mine's just like repetition.
Repetition,
yeah.
Sure.
I have to say that the exciting thing about TV is that it's very much happening as you go. Like, when you're doing a play, it's been workshopped for 5 years, it's a Bible. A film not so much, but you know, it's gone through its revisions, and TV happens so fast that you're kind of, you know, when your relationship with the writers is good, it's kind of happening in conversation and as you go. And these guys are two of the most collaborative writers that you will ever find. They were constantly coming to us in holding between setups, asking us, what have you not done that you want to do? Give us ideas. And it's the most fun a job has ever been because of that.
Scott, there's a value that this cast has, but I think the show has, that gets often overlooked. Everybody here is great at listening. And it's actually a superpower because everything is evolving so fast. And the only way that we get this weird collaborative art out of that which we do is by listening to each other. Ironically, a Star Trek value brought to bear daily and is probably as important to our show. I mean, it's nice that they're unbelievably talented, but still, listening. They listen to each other.
So, okay. I have one more question before we close out this amazing Strange New Worlds and 60th anniversary celebration panel. So November 27th, 1964 was the first day of filming on The Cage. And Spock was there. Spock was in that first episode. He was the only character that survived until, okay, we all know the story. But you all wrapped season 5. And I want to ask you, Ethan, what was that last day like for you?
It was beautiful, hopeful, and triumphant. And sitting here, I just feel so proud to, amongst all of you, advocate for love, curiosity, and logic.
And above all, logic.
Well, as I said, season 4, Strange New Worlds, is streaming right now on Paramount Plus. New episodes drop every Thursday. If you love the first episode, buckle your seatbelts, folks, and you're in for the best ride yet on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Thank you all for an amazing conversation, and for Runa for being here as well. Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Star Trek Strange New Worlds and for Star Trek 60 Years. That's our cue.
Thank you all.